Hello, I'm Jerry Magee. I'm recently retired Oregon-Washington BLM Wilderness and National Conservation Lands Program Lead, and I'm currently the Oregon representative to the board of the Public Lands Foundation. And I'm here to interview Wick, who is a Washington Office Wilderness Specialist who has become the National BLM's Photographer Laureate. And he does photography for the National Conservation Lands Program and for other programs throughout BLM. And so yesterday, Bob was honored in a U.S. Postal Service dedication ceremony that for the release of 12 Wild Scenic River Forever stamps. And that was in recognition of the 50th anniversary of the Wild Scenic Rivers Act that we all celebrated last year. Bob's the photographer behind 3 of the 12 stamps, including Steelhead Falls on the Deschutes River, and the Deschutes River happens to be flowing behind us. But it was chosen as the site for the national dedication ceremony. So with that background, Bob, is there anything in particular you want to share regarding your Wild Scenic River photos just released by the U.S. Postal Service? I did already.
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, it was truly an honor for me to be asked to submit some photographs, and I was really excited because BLM has such a big role in Wild Scenic River stewardship that a number of the stamps, including additional 2 rivers that I didn't photograph, the BLM has stewardship on, included in the series. And yeah, it was just fun working through the process too with the Postal Service. I've never worked with them on a stamp project or anything. What's that? Oh, talk louder. Okay. Yeah, so it was a totally new thing for me to work with the Postal Service and go through the process with them, and yeah, it was just it was fun, and to see rivers like the Deschutes that I've loved for so long to get the recognition they deserve. It's some of the most beautiful, well-conserved landscapes and places in the country is really neat.
Well, some of these questions are mine, but a number of them were submitted by other members of the Public Lands Foundation, so they're all mixed in here, but that's kind of good. So one of the person asked, when did you first get a passion for photography?
I mean, I always loved the outdoors and landscapes, and I kind of flip it around. A photograph allows you to explore your passion, and my passion is outdoor beauty and outdoor landscapes. So I bought my first camera. Actually, I was in college. I quit smoking, and I justified using the money I was going to save from cigarettes to buy an SLR camera. So that was what got me started. And then, of course, when I started working for the BLM, I was a recreation specialist in Colorado, and they were always looking for photos for brochures and publications and stuff. So I just started developing a niche for being able to use my photos for that. So it's always been fun.
That's good. What was your most memorable photographic experience on BLM land?
I would have to say, I mean, there's so many of them, but the northern lights in the White Mountains of Alaska was truly amazing. And then I was able to get up to the National Petroleum Reserve, Alaska, twice, once in summer and once in winter. And it's just, as you know, it's large as the state of Indiana. I think it's the largest single block of public lands, and it's just so vast and so totally undeveloped in most of the area. It's just incredible.
Many of us had the opportunity to experience the total solar eclipse a couple of years ago. I understand you observed the event on BLM lands in Idaho. How would you describe that experience?
Both amazing and stressful.
You didn't get to do it twice.
Yeah, it was. What happened was there were so many people that went online. Of course, I do a lot of internet research for finding good places, good techniques, but there was so much information about how to take the ultimate eclipse photo that all these gadget geeks put on. So I just got overwhelmed with the technology, and knowing I only had, like 3 minutes to capture it. And it was also really high above the horizon. So I wanted to capture it in the context of the landscape. So that that took a little work to get the foreground. But I was at Herd Lake in Idaho, and it was truly a memorable experience. I think if I do it on my own time sometime, I will just take one photo and enjoy the eclipse.
That's true.
Yeah, because I was so
true.
focused on taking the photos. Yeah,
But you talked about that. You've experienced your life through a lens instead of being able to see it. That's good. You kind of hint at that, but in some of your answers, people can tell you do go out of your way. And I said, what's your specific strategy or technique for getting shots that the average person can't get?
An alarm clock. That's my my technique. 95% of my high quality, calendar quality photos, if you have it there, are taken right at dawn or dusk, or right before sunrise, right after sunset, in that golden hour, as they say. On a day like today that's cloudy, I'll go out photographing midday. I'll do forest shots or wildflowers, but on a sunny day, mid-afternoons for naps, I go out then. So yeah. Oh, go ahead. Well, and the other thing, I love photographing BLM lands because I don't have as much competition. There aren't as many people out there photographing them, so I really like the fact that my photos show a unique perspective of places that a lot of people don't get to see.
Well, I know when you talk about the alarm clock, my reaction, sometimes you've told me the times you're out there, and I said those numbers aren't even on my clock. So I figured you do what you need to. And I remember you calling in or somehow sending some kind of message from the top of the Steens in Oregon, where it was 4 a.m. and you had rocks holding down your tripod under high winds to try to get that Milky Way shot, all that kind of stuff. So.
Yeah, I love doing night sky photography. The newer cameras have really good sensors, so you can actually pick up more stars with your camera than your eye can see. But of course, that involves being out at ungodly hours, and on summer nights it's beautiful, but when it's below freezing and 9,000 feet in the Steens, it's a little less enjoyable and relaxing, but it's still mesmerizing to see the Milky Way.
Well, that kind of gets to a point that I know our communications office would be upset if we didn't cover it. That you are primarily alone on many of the most remote and challenging shoots, such as the Steens Mountain, Owyhee River in Oregon, Inyo Mountains in California. Has this resulted in any particular problems you've encountered, and what's your advice regarding preparation for such activities?
The big thing, obviously, is to just let somebody know where you're going and when you're going to be back, and have a contact. There's been so many examples of people getting rescued after days and weeks that just didn't let folks know when they would contact them. So I always set up a contact, usually daily. Sometimes I'll be out more than a day. Although the last 6 years or so, I've used a satellite communication device, so I can ping people every day to let them know I'm okay. So yeah.
All right. Someone submitted, what's on your bucket list for future photographic experiences?
Boy, there's a lot of rivers that I haven't boated on BLM land, especially with this Wild Scenic River project. I think I'd like to go back to some places that I've been before at different seasons and different light. I've just been so lucky to see so many different areas that BLM manages, and there are so many more out there, but I don't really have one particular spot in mind. Just everywhere I can get.
Well, I actually only have one other question, and it's whether you have a question you wish I would have asked, or is there anything else you'd like to add?
Just that I really am proud to work for the Bureau of Land Management. I think the BLM has such vast responsibilities for stewardship of public lands, and a very difficult mandate where we're producing a lot of the nation's minerals and other commodity values, but we're also conserving some national treasures. So I really appreciate the challenge of that, and and just really enjoy showing these places to the public and helping them to either be armchair travelers or hopefully to get out there and enjoy them on their own.
Well, you've definitely done that for a lot of us. Like I said, we've been around for a while, and I first saw you in Missoula, Montana. I think you were showcasing posters that you had convinced the state of California to support, doing a number of posters a year on special areas, and that's where I first experienced your photography, and it's just been getting more and more excellent each year. So.
Well, and as you know, one of the things that I always enjoy is I used to just try to catch people hiking or biking or whatever to be in my photographs, and then I realized nobody's out at sunrise, or I can't get them to walk up and down the trail 8 times. So most of the recreationists in my photos are BLM employees. Of course, Jerry, you've been in a bunch of them.
I stand still well, he says.
Yeah, so I have, and I haven't gotten a good name to call people other than models, and BLMers are like, oh, I'm not a model.
No, I am. It's my hair.
But, I guess the one other thing I really like about BLM lands is you make your own adventure. It's not fed to you like it is. There's very much a place for national park experience and a guided tour, but the fact that you have to really research and be prepared to find places like this. It's not a well-known landscape photography spot. Of course, there's places like the Wave and others that are very iconic, but there's places that are just as beautiful as any of our national parks that very few people get to, and I think it's a niche that our agency provides that is a really important niche.
Well, thank you very much on behalf of the Public Lands Foundation, and I'm glad you made time to do this. I'm sorry to take time out of your busy week. So, one question is, what are your most memorable places that you've done photography for BLM lands?
Oh, there's so many of them. I think each state has numerous special places, but some that come to mind are seeing the aurora over the White Mountains in Alaska was just amazing. Some of the canyon country in the San Rafael Swell in Utah, especially at sunrise and sunset, is just inexplainable. It's so beautiful. And the high country of Colorado down around the Alpine Loop and Andes Peak, snow-capped peaks, just gorgeous country. California during the spring wildflower bloom is off the charts. I mean, I've never seen anything like it in my life. And then I just love the vast, open, empty places of the Great Basin, along some of the immigrant trails where you can really feel the same landscape and place that the immigrants crossed through 150 years ago, or when they were going through slavery.
Could you talk about the 3 stamps that exhibit your photos, and anything particularly you want to say about those areas?
Yes, well, the first one, which was great that we were able to have the dedication here, is Steelhead Falls, which is not too far downstream from here on the Middle Deschutes, and just a beautiful, actually one of my easier photographs, because it's not that hard of a hike and there's a beautiful overview. The other one is on the Upper Missouri, Wild Scenic River in Montana, and it's actually a fall shot, and there was a lot of wildfire smoke in the air, which at first disappointed me when I was up there because it made for hazy daytime skies, but it also gave a real ethereal feel to all the photographs, and people really, really enjoyed them. And this is a morning shot of the mist rising off the river during the sunrise. The third one is actually an outlier. During the Wild and Scenic 50th, I was back in my home state of Pennsylvania, and I used to go to Clarion River and still go there once every couple of years with my family to rent a cabin in a state park there. So I brought my camera to get some photos of it as a Wild and Scenic River, and they selected that. So everyone's like, why is a BLM employee taking a photo of a Pennsylvania river? But that's where I kind of cut my teeth on natural resources.